All right, Alan, you finally went to the theater and you saw it. And we're going to warn people and let people know that this is going to be a spoiler review. We will get into spoilers in this. I gave you my early reaction a couple days ago. Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom is the last film from the DCEU. This is it. Putting a pin in it, going out on something of a whimper. You know, these everything from Black Adam to Shazam to The Flash and now Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom have all underperformed at the box office. And creatively, they've been all over the map. I mean, I'll say probably The Flash was enjoyable for me because the return of Michael Keaton Batman. Sorry, I'm biased. I am biased. That movie changed the game in 1989 when Michael Keaton Batman, the original Batman movie by Tim Burton came out. And seeing the return, sorry, I got the feels. There's one big problem with The Flash. Ezra Miller's in it. So, and not only one Ezra Miller, two Ezra Millers. So that makes a chunk of the movie fairly insufferable. And then the unfinished digital effects was the thing that really sent it down in flames. But all of these DC movies, especially after, I thought it was such a huge mistake for James Gunn to just out of the blue say, okay, all these DC movies that are coming out, they're not part of what I'm doing. Forget them. I don't know why you would say that. I think that was a huge mistake, including the fact he had an opportunity to put Henry Cavill's Superman. He had an opportunity to make a Superman movie with Henry Cavill and didn't do it. But I gave my early reaction. Alan, tell us your thoughts on Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, and then we'll talk spoilers.
Yeah, I did not like it as much as you did. 2 hours felt like a very long time. I'll be honest. I had the problems I had with Aquaman 2 are the exact same problems I had with Ant-Man Quantumania. Let me just start by saying where Aquaman went off the rails, Aquaman 2 went off the rails was from the very beginning. It does what a superhero movie does. It sets up a scene. There's a pirate ship about to attack a large cargo freighter, and these pirates have gathered the crew together. They're about to kill the crew, and then Aquaman leaps onto the deck and takes out the bad guys. But before he takes out the first bad guy, it cuts to his son, and he's playing with toys, showing that he's showing what dad does for a living. And he takes an Aquaman doll and it beats up the pirate doll. And then we cut back for a couple of fight scenes, but right off the bat, the problem with setting it up this way is that you set the wrong tone right off the bat. The tone now is it's a James Gunn comedy. And that's the feeling you carry now throughout the rest of the film. It's the tone. That opening moment has to set that tone, and you set the wrong tone. It's like when the Marvels opens with Ms. Marvel in her bedroom fangirling out over Captain Marvel. It sets the wrong tone for the rest of it. Right. And so, what I wanted, what they should have done was they should have just played out this great scene where Aquaman saves the day, and then you cut to him and his kid with the toys, because you don't even get that. You don't even get this exciting opener at the beginning of the movie. And then it becomes about Aquaman being a dad, blah, 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 brothers, blah, blah, blah. And then when I get into the Aquaman Quantumania thing, the issue I have is we're now brought into Atlantis, and it looks great. It looks fun. There's weird, whimsical creatures swimming everywhere, but I don't understand the rules of this world.
Well, okay. First of all, you're right. They didn't do a lot of good world building with Atlantis, but I'll say it's 10 times better than Namor, the submariner.
Yeah.
If you saw Black Panther,
that was set up in the first Aquaman movie, but here I still don't understand this world. Other than the fact that there's 7 kingdoms. Other than that, it's just people living underwater, and we're supposed to feel sympathy for them.
Well, I want to answer the question that is on the thumbnail, which is this the worst film in the DC, worst DC film ever? It's not. There are worse films.
I would see this again over Wonder Woman 84.
Right. So there are worse films. It is not the worst film, but it's just serviceable. It's like Blue Beetle. It's like inoffensive, serviceable, fine. I'll say this. The thing that got me was I feel like the tone that James Wan was going for, this is Super Friends. All this is Super Friends. That's it. It's a Super Friends cartoon, but with live action. I did like Kingfish, which is basically Jabba the Hutt and his little bevy of women.
Yeah.
That they were. I love it. Like,
well, just the fact that it was voiced by Martin Short, kind of.
Right.
Yeah.
But so he's surrounded by these fish women that wear basically the slave Leia bikini, and they have just tremendous fish boobs. So that I liked.
Tremendous fish boobs. Okay.
Am I wrong?
I don't know. I don't know. I wasn't looking at the boobs. Sorry.
First of all, that's a surprise for you because I have video evidence.
I like boobs. I'm just not into fish boobs.
That's all I needed was a clean clip of you saying I love boobs, just not fish boobs.
Yeah, but the thing is that look, you had a very serious story with that first Aquaman movie, and then it turns into kind of a comedy movie. Exact same thing with Captain Marvel. The first Captain Marvel was a serious Marvel movie, whether you liked it or not. It had the tone of a Marvel movie. The second one becomes this comedy sketch, and it's like sequels should kind of continue the legacy of the first movie, and it just felt like this one went in a different direction. I will say Patrick Wilson is probably the best thing about Aquaman 2. His so-called redemption arc is probably the most interesting thing about the movie.
Right.
Amber Heard, I think you mentioned she doesn't have much of a role. I think she does have, she plays a big part in the ending. But it's just, look, I don't understand the world of Atlantis. They're not explaining that well. And also for a place, for a story that takes place in the ocean, in the wide, vast ocean, this movie felt claustrophobic the entire time. Right. And I was just, it's just one of these movies that I go, there's a lot of action and a lot of pretty flashing lights, but there's not a lot of substance behind it. And I think that's ultimately why Aquaman 2 is going to fail. I think the only good thing about this movie is the Patrick Wilson story, the brother story.
Orm, right. Well, it's interesting. First of all, there were a couple shots of him in the movie. I'm looking going, he would make a better Aquaman.
Yeah.
Like he actually looks
like Aquaman.
He looks like Aquaman.
If you put Patrick Wilson in the orange and the green, he looks just like Aquaman.
He does. And it's like Jason Momoa is like Aqua Bro. It just doesn't make any sense to me. But on the Amber Heard thing, what I think was really shocking was going to my theater, because I went last night to the AMC Burbank 16. They're basically selling merch.
Yeah, I saw that.
Related to Amber Heard. Look, they have Amber Heard mugs from Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom.
Why does it say Unt? I don't understand.
You've got Amber Heard mugs here that you can get. Okay, what am I doing? That was stupid. That is a dumb joke. Why did I do that? I'm sorry. Apologies to the entire audience for a dad joke at the expense of Amber Heard.
But there's a $40 Aquaman popcorn bucket and drink, and if it's like the Marvels one, it doesn't come with popcorn or a drink. So you're spending.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
So you get this thing and it doesn't even come with the popcorn.
Yeah. It's on the top shelf. You don't see it, but we had the Flurkin popcorn bucket, and they wouldn't give my kid popcorn or a drink to fill it. They had to pay.
That's the whole purpose of getting it.
I know.
Oh my God, that's lame. Well, look, let's talk spoilers in this. Amber Heard's in it. She's in it for like 20 minutes, and then she has like maybe under 10 lines in the entire movie. Yeah. She's really insignificant. She's clearly sidelined.
She kind of saves she has her part in the battle at the end.
Right. But other than that, she doesn't say much in the film. So it feels like she's not in it as much as she actually is. Screen time.
I think I agree with you. I think they put her in only enough to keep the narrative going,
right?
And not have to reshoot anything with her.
Right. Well, they chopped it down. Also, that that scene with the pirates at the beginning on the ship, and Aquaman kind of saves the ship. It feels like they may have rewritten the opening, because the opening of Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Wait, why are you doing this?
I'm not doing that.
I
think it was Miss Piccoffee.
Okay,
because you can activate these things by hitting a key on the keyboard, and it might have been a slip.
Right. Anyways, so like, I feel like this intro for the movie was written after, and it's a complete ripoff of Thor: Love and Thunder. It's a complete ripoff of the beginning of Ant-Man 3, where it's like, hey, I'm Ant-Man. Here's my life. Hey, I'm Aquaman. I'm a dad. I do this. So it's like this little like intro to his life that kind of catches you up. I did like the fact that this movie isn't connected to anything.
Yeah.
There are no cameos from other DC characters. 0. There are no
no references to any events outside of this story.
Exactly. No references to anything.
So the Justice League, there's no mention, hey, I was part of the Justice League,
None of that. There's no like, you need to have seen the first Aquaman, then you have to see the Flash, then you have to see Justice League, then Black Adam you have to see because Black Adam's in it. Like, I feel like audiences are done with that. I feel like this was a very good choice. That's why I'm seeing people on social media say, hey, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom is not as bad as I thought it would be. That's not exactly a resounding endorsement. Yep. I'm saying that
it's not enough to get people to the box office.
Right. It is fun. If you take it for what it is, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom is fun. I'm giving it a mild recommendation. Alan, what about you?
I'm not recommending it.
Okay.
Again, that opening sequence, horribly mismanaged. There's just not a lot of weight behind it. I want a real story. I want something, and you don't get it until Orm shows up, really.
Well, first of all, I'm a little shocked at your conclusion, because this movie features a very prominent Asian character.
Yes, the title character.
Played by, no, not just the title character, Randall Park.
Mm-hmm. Alan, yeah, actually, Randall Park, you're right. Randall Park was good in it, too. I like Randall Park.
So, see, it's rare to see you.
Well, unlike a friend of the channel, just because you put Asians in it doesn't mean you still have to have a good story behind it.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm just.
Is he watching?
I'm surprised you would betray.
Is he on the live cast here? Okay.
All I can say is I'm surprised you would betray all Asians.
No, I like to see Asians in movies, but I like to see Asians in good movies. People. I mean, I have to constantly be saying that. Well, you hate gay films. No, I hate bad gay films. You hate films with women in it. No, I hate bad movies with women.
Okay, Glenn, do me a favor. You know how to edit that.
Oh, jeez.
I hate gay movies. I hate women in movies.
You're gonna do a Howard Stern on me.
We'll definitely do it. But look,
you'll get me canceled for all this.
It feels sad, because what this does, every DC movie and the bad Marvel movies, all these bad movies have eroded the public's interest in the genre. This genre now is what killed the superhero genre? Bad superhero movies, a succession of them. And this is one. Oh, by the way, Aquaman wins at the end and then basically reveals himself and Atlantis. It says spoiler.
I know, yeah.
He wins at the end and reveals Atlantis and himself to the world.
Yes. And to save the environment. I mean, look, the answer to the environmental crisis that we are currently going through right now is clear. It's alien technology.
That's going to save us.
That's going to save us.
Yikes.
I mean, this whole environmental message was, clearly it's an aside to the actual environmental, crisis that's going on in this world.
Right.
It's just a reason to, they're just shoving it in for story purposes. and the reason I bring all this up is it just becomes problematic because the conclusion is global warming is occurring because of what is it? I forget the name of the thing, but it's the dumbest name for a substance, an energy substance ever. And apparently an abundance of that is causing global warming. And so you're just muddling the message at this point.
Yeah, first of all, I'm so tired of that being a message in movies, and they don't hammer it as hard as I think they could have. But an environmental message, it's like, yes, I get it. It's like I remember propaganda in like 80s cartoons about don't litter, recycle, or I'm old enough to remember that cartoon with that commercial with the Indian where he has like the one tear going down where he just looks at litter on the side of the road. That's it. Yeah. So I'm not bothered by it just because it's in everything. So it's like you kind of shrug and go, I get it. What am I supposed to do about this?
Well,
I buy the cars that you sell. Yeah. I use, you know what I mean? Like what am I supposed to do?
Yeah. Well, here's the other thing. The rhetoric is so ingrained in culture that they don't need to show you scenes of the environment crumbling. You just need news headlines telling us that the environment is crumbling.
Right.
And so we've gotten to the point where I just have to say it and the masses will believe it.
Well, and then the other thing is some people have suggested there's a scene where there are two scenes where Orm is eating bugs and he enjoys them. But I don't think the audience is supposed to enjoy watching Orm eat bugs. You're supposed to be disgusted by it. So you could say,
I think we're supposed to be eating bugs in the future to replace meat because you can't eat a living creature. Like a bug.
Because bugs aren't living. What about bugs and their bug families?
I know.
Anyways,
you're orphaning bugs. Yeah.
I don't think the bug thing is pushing any agenda because the perception of the audience, the way it's portrayed, is you're supposed to be disgusted by Orm eating bugs because eating bugs is effing gross. So I know there are other cultures that do it. Not for me. That's all I can say. All right. So bottom line is, Alan, you do not recommend Aquaman. Well, I'll say this. If you can check your brain at the door, you don't need any brain cells to enjoy this movie. It is stupid. It's fun. Jason Momoa and the interactions with Orm, his brother, played by Patrick Wilson, really fun. Not a great movie. It is a fun movie. And that's all I'll say. Okay, and I was not going in expecting that.
Yeah. I'm looking at it because we're going to post the review on Film Threat. I just want to make sure. Oh yeah, we gave it a 2.
Who gave it a 2? Not me.
No, it's Alex.
Alex Savlev is one of our reviewers.
I knew he was going to be vicious and savage to it.
So. All right. Well, he gave it a 2. This is what I think this is. I think why people, check in with us is you'll get multiple opinions. I like to give multiple opinions, including sometimes the reviews on the website don't reflect what Alan and I are saying. Mm-hmm. What would you give it? I give it a 6.
I'd probably give it a 4.
4. Okay.
I mean, 2 has to be really bad for me to go down there.
Right. I think I gave The Marvels a 3. So there you go. Yeah.
I think I gave Wish a 2. So
wow. A rare 2 from Alan.
Yeah, a very rare 2.
Well, there you go, folks. The DC cinematic universe, Zack Snyder's vision for it goes out with a whimper with Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. And there we go. And in 2 years, we'll have Superman. We'll see how that goes.